Greetings. Welcome, welcome. Just waiting on the class to convene. Welcome to week 3 live chat for the 30-day Elimination Diet Challenge. I am out in nature, loving my life, living my life. Perfect on a Sunday afternoon. Sunday being the day of introspection and self-care and reflection. So I always like to do those type of things in nature. So I was like, hopefully I can find a spot where I can do my live. And lo and behold, here's a spot. So here we are. I'm going to wait just for a minute, just so the audience can build up a little bit, and then I'll get started. I'm going to also do some beautiful things with technology real quick. Hey, Kai. Hey, Tina. Welcome, welcome. All right, y'all go ahead and share. Get your notepad, get your pencil, pen, so we can go in. Also, do some technology. Also, do some. Hey, everybody. All right, I think that's everything cool, right? Now let's get Instagram popping real quick. And then we're going to get this thing going. I know a lot of people are going to be doing some replay, so I won't be concerned. I'll just let them do the replay. All right. Hey, Instagram, we live. Great. Facebook, we live. Hey, Brittany. Make sure I'm on the right Instagram. I think I am. Pretty sure I am. I'm not. Okay, let me get off of there. In line. Get on this one. Y'all hit up the tribe and tell them to join us. Couple more minutes, then we getting going. Come on. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, so we live on Instagram as well. Beautiful. Excellent. I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Got a few people in the classroom right now, so that's enough for us to go ahead and get this thing going. So we are doing, this is week 3. Congratulations to everyone who has been tuned in, doing the work, doing your homework, really working to release anger, fear, resentment, guilt, shame. That is the elimination diet. That is what we are eliminating. And listen, we're using the word diet. We're not necessarily talking about a diet, what people usually think of. It's like, oh, okay, what we're not eating. But some people who have been on a challenge have found it to be powerful for them to actually work on other things while we're doing the 30-day challenge. So shout out to everyone who is also they've taken a challenge for themselves to do something physical and active for the next 30 days. I see a few of the tribe are in the gym. Hey, in the gym. I done seen some posts of people hiking, people fasting, doing some raw food dieting. I saw a couple of juice fasts. Shout out to Mama Aura in Jamaica who's doing a juice fast and a detox. So right now, a lot of people are doing fast and detox, and it is the perfect time. It's summertime. I talked about it at the summer solstice event, how summer brings the opportunity for night. You know, once the summer solstice hit, then it became the fact that we have longer nights. And metaphysically, in the night period, it's the time for cultivation, for development. And so when we live with the seasons and we actually follow the ways of the land, we find that our healing and our prayers are just that much more powerful and impactful. So giving thanks for the consciousness for us to be doing things of this nature, and stay the course to everyone who is fasting, doing a spiritual fast or a physical fast. Stay the course for sure. Let's hop right into it. If you don't know, we are doing an Elimination Diet Challenge. If this is your first time tuning in, we are on week 3 of the Elimination Diet Challenge. The first week, we just talked about the root of emotions, where they come from. We talked about how feelings are messengers, that, you know, we are meant to feel. It's normal to be sad, mad, scared, those type of things. But what do we do with those feelings, right? How do we make sure that we don't get caught up in them? You know what I mean? And that's really the main point here, is not to say you shouldn't feel this, you never will feel this, and when you feel this, just ignore it and hope that it'll go away. The point of the first week to talk about how to identify your sadness, your fear, your anger, and what to do with it was so that you can reconcile with it. That's what you really want to do, reconcile with your feelings. So if you are sad, what have you lost? If you are afraid, what is the danger? If you are angry, what is the violation? And people have really dug into that. Some people in the community came up to me and said they were, you know, that was so powerful. And by the way, shout out to Mama Afia and Baba Wakesa, which I learned this from. And stay tuned for week 4, because we'll have Baba Wakesa on with me talking more about that. So I'm so excited about that. A valuable resource. I used it for my family, and I really found some great results. So I'm so happy to have him on next week. So that was week 1, talking through that, how to deal with those things. You know, when I do recognize that it has been a violation, or I have lost something, what do? You know, and we talked about that, and we are continuing to talk about that in the Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn Facebook group, where oftentimes throughout the week I do a live or things of that nature. On week 2, I had the brother Edward Phelps, who is the author of Freedom, Choice, Power. And we came on talking about retelling our stories and questioning ourselves, are our memories our enemies? You know, what are we doing with these memories that, especially the memories of trauma, things that we are not happy about that happen in our lives? You know, what is the advantage of knowing what to do with those things? What is the mind for? Why do we hold these memories? And then also how to retell your stories so that your memories don't continuously come into your present day in a toxic manner. What we want to do is reconcile with our memories so that when they do come back, you know, if we're reflecting on something or we're remembering something, that it's coming back in a way that is empowering. So how do we retell our stories? That was part of our homework, thinking, how do we retell our story? What are some of the stories we keep telling ourselves? What are some of the things we continuously believe? And how are those impacting us? And if it is anything that we continue to believe and we have any stories that are not in alignment with our heart's desires, how do we change those stories? How do we move forward in a powerful way? That was week 2. And we had some homework, and I did a midweek check-in. If you did not catch that one. Someone emailed me just to ask some questions about week 1. as well as week 2, and I answered those questions as well as went into how to retell your stories and the value of retelling your stories. All right, peace to everyone on Instagram and everyone who is in the classroom, in the actual classroom here on Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn on Facebook. Instagram world, if you're on Facebook, make sure you go over to Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn's Facebook page. Facebook group. That is where this challenge is happening, and much more resources are being placed in that platform. And as a matter of fact, today's lesson will end with some homework as well as a heart chakra meditation that I am going to send to everyone who is participating via email. And so you're gonna have to tune into the Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn in order to get that email address, so that if you desire that meditation, you can get that. So I'm really urging you, if you're on Facebook, to go to that group, join it, and stay tuned, because Sunday chat is just the tip of the iceberg. It is a tribe. Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn Facebook group has become a tribe. We assist each other throughout the week. We share testimonies. We share tips and all those different things as well. So it is a benefit to be a part of the group and actually tune in live and stay connected via that Facebook group. Okay. If you are on Instagram and you just absolutely positively do not have Facebook and are totally against it or something like that, then DM me and we can see what we can work out. Okay. Also, these videos are placed on YouTube, so you can check out my YouTube channel for the replay of these videos. Again, the group's name is Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn. Living Intentionally with Queen Yenn. Y-E-N-N. Queen, Y-E-N-N. All right, Lego. Get your notepads and pencil, because I would like for you to take notes today. We're moving through. We started out with the root chakra and the sacral chakra, as well as different content. As you know, we're talking about different things, but I'm also linking the chakra work with the work that we are doing. We talked about root and the sacral chakra, where a lot of those emotions get caught up if you're not able to reconcile them. Root chakra is kind of where your foundation was. So, we thought about, like, what was our upbringing like? Did we feel safe? Did we feel confident? Did we feel like we had a place in this world? And that's very important to have, because that actually depicts how you react to things and how you emote to things. If you're always feeling like you're not safe, then yeah, you may be, I won't say overly emotional, but you may have a certain level of perspective when looking at things that causes certain feelings and emotions about things, right? And so if you had fear in your childhood when your root chakra was developing, or if you had insecurity, or if you had sadness, then you can by all means carry that as you begin to develop your sacral chakra and your solar plexus. You begin to kind of emote and kind of function on that level, just kind of a scary type of person, or a person who tends to be sad. That's definitely possible because of the root. Right? So we talked through some different things we can do to heal that root chakra. We also talked through some things for the sacral chakra, how to not get caught up in those emotions, how to reconcile some of those feelings and emotions. We also did the solar plexus so that we can make sure we're shining our light in a way that is attracting the things that we desire. What kind of light are you shining? We're always shining. We're always giving off energy. What kind of energy are you giving off? That's what I challenged everyone to always stay attentive to. What kind of energy are you giving off? What does this have to do with Elimination Diet Challenge? This eliminating fear, eliminating resentment, eliminating shame? Well, as you work through those things, you'll kind of realize why you have those feelings come up in the first place. And today we're going to focus in on, hey sis, today we're going to focus in on heart chakra, which is really a place where you definitely want to make sure you keep balanced, because it is our center. It's also a place where a lot of our judgment happens. It's a lot of where we do begin to have those feelings because of judgment. Y'all, I'm outside, so if y'all see me like moving real fast, that's because some kind of ant or something is on me. But it's okay. I'm out in their house, so I'm at their mercy. So heart chakra, let's go ahead and jump into it. Today, we're going to talk about a few things, few main points. The first I want to focus in on ego though. Ego. All right. So we have this idea of ego. And sometimes when I say ego, I think people think I mean like the prideful nature of man, things like that. And I am talking about that, but ego is much deeper than that. Ego is basically our human selves. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. And so this ego becomes this person that is being in this human form. It's not our essence, but it becomes this life force that is impacted a lot by the outside world, by beliefs that we have began to believe, by agreements we have made with ourselves that creates our beliefs becomes our book of laws, how we rule, how we judge. All of that is within ego. And so we have a reason why we have these things, and these reasons why, or what will make us happy, what will make us scared, what will make us mad, what is good, what is bad, what is positive, what is negative, what is right, what is wrong. You have all of those different things, and all of that is developed within the ego self. And in actuality, all of that within the ego self can create either heaven in this physical world, or it can be a hellish experience. It just depends on how you're working, how you are moving in this world. And so today's topic and what we'll discuss, as well as the homework, is going to challenge us to make sure we're entertaining beliefs and agreements with ourselves and identities that we're building in a way that is in alignment with our heart's desires, and to also challenge our attachments and how we view things and how we think about life, dealing with this heart chakra. So number one, ego. I want you all to write this down. So you have this concept of the ego. And the first thing I want us to talk about is our identity, who we are. When people ask you, who are you? What do you do? That's some of the first thing we start to go to. So I challenge you to think about that. Like, if someone was to ask you, who are you? What would you say? If someone asks you, who are you? What would you say? As a matter of fact, in the chat, in the group, if you all could answer that question, put it in the chat. If someone was to ask you, who are you? What would you say? Oftentimes that becomes these labels, right? Or these titles. That's what we start with. Oh, well, I'm a good one. You know what I mean? My Bobby is a good one. He's from Augusta. I'm also a daughter. I'm a mama. I'm a teacher. I'm a Black woman. I am a spiritualist. What are these things that becomes your identity, that has been created into your identity by you? These have been either created by you or has been adopted. You've adopted them because people have given you these labels. What are those labels? Here's the thing about it. I won't totally go against that, but here's the thing. When we have this identity, that identity come with sets of agreement we make as being those things. For instance, as a daughter, you have these rules that you have to go by, so to say. As a daughter, what comes with that? You know what I mean? To be a daughter, then to be a daughter of a preacher, and then to be a daughter of a Baptist preacher. All these different things. Like, it's these expectations. As you grow up as a child, you start to get these expectations, or even as you begin to get titles through your life, you begin to get all of these expectations. Now, that's the first thing that began to impact us in our root chakra, sacral, in our chakra areas, the energetic fields. When we come up against, or we're confronted by these concepts of labels that become our identity, right? And oftentimes that begins to control our lives. Sometimes we make decisions that are in alignment with us and how we feel is the best way to go. And many times with these labels and things we're supposed to be because of our identity, we make decisions that are not in alignment with ourselves. We know we don't really desire that, or we don't really know what we want, but we're going with something because this is what it's supposed to be, because I am this or I am that, right? And so we want to look at that. Right now, I'm just telling you to look at it. What have you agreed upon when it comes to this is my identity? And I want you to reflect. Are there any decisions, perceptions, or things of that nature that has been ruled by this identity that you have? You know, and as we continue the conversation, we'll talk about how we can be a little bit easier when it comes to developing expectations or having this. See, this is where shame and guilt and all of this comes from when you have expectations, hurt, all of that comes from these various expectations that you create in your own mind. Even when you don't even express it, you have these expectations. Well, you're a teacher, so you should know this. Where you a mama, you should be doing this. Well, you are a preacher's daughter, you should be doing this, or you know, whatever these identities are. So that's number one, identifying what identity have you agreed upon when it comes to your life, and questioning it. This is a Mercury retrograde. We're right upon this Mercury retrograde. Great time to reflect. You know, great time to reflect. The next thing is that creates our ego, because remember, we're talking about ego, and right now I'm just breaking it down. That's one of the things that creates our ego, is this agreed upon identity that we have for ourselves. The next thing is our belief system. And our belief system is like our own personal book of laws for our own life. We develop beliefs about a lot of things, you know, so many different things. We may develop beliefs about our family. We develop beliefs about what we should eat, what is love. We develop beliefs about what is God, who is God, what is right, what is wrong, what's positive, what's not. All of these different beliefs. That's our belief system. So that's another thing that you want to always reflect upon. And the reason why you want to reflect is you want to see, are these beliefs that I am holding firm to, are they in alignment with my present day highest self? My present day highest self. Gone are the days where we gotta sit and be, oh, but that's what my mama said. That's what my daddy said. That's what my family did, and all these different things. This is what they believe, so I believe. This is what this country believe. No. What are your beliefs, and are they in alignment with your present day highest self? How do you know if they're in alignment with your present day highest self? You are experiencing peace. You are experiencing forward movement. You are experiencing the ability to be able to balance. You are experiencing the ability to be able to manifest. If you're finding yourself stuck, always running up against a brick wall, always in turmoil, always struggling to find your way, you may want to check your belief system. You may want to check your belief system, because by all means, your belief system is guiding the way you rock in this world. What you're deciding to do, how you're deciding to move forward, what you're deciding to spend your time on, what you're deciding to spend your attention on, all of that is driven by your belief system. And this is all a part of the ego. This is all a part of the ego, right? And we're going to talk about how this can be detrimental, you know, to your health, your overall health, your spiritual and energetic health, your emotional health, and your physical health. This could all be a detriment. For those who believe that relaxing, when you relax, you have to drink. Now, this is no judgment, you know what I'm saying? Because I have a drink every now and then. I have me a drink. But I'm just saying, when you come up with a belief system that says, in order to relax, I must drink, I must do this, I must do that, you're not following a belief system that is toxic. If you follow a belief system, even this, get this, in our society, it is a belief that when you are hurt and when you are sad, that you need to let everybody know. You need to express it. You do, but it is a way that you do it that we have not been blatantly taught. And we actually have been taught the toxic way to do it. And that is, you know, talk about it, think about it. With even the therapist, you know, that whole system is, you know, you just keep laying on the couch, rehashing your memories, rehashing your stories. How do you feel about that? And then keep going into, you're never taught about how to reconcile with it. You're never taught about how to cleanse out the chakras. And maybe in 2019, prayerfully, you know, we have some more in-tune therapists out there. But if they are in a system of making money, they're telling you to rehash it, and then you become a believer that that is how you do things. We have a belief that when someone makes us mad, some people have a belief when someone makes you mad, they deserve violence. That's a belief system. While it's other belief systems that believe violence is, is never necessary, and I'm not saying any of it is right or wrong. I'm just saying always check your belief system, because these are the laws that you're abiding by, believe it or not, subconsciously or consciously. And you want to see, is it in alignment with my highest self today? Because a belief system that worked for you at 16 may not be working for you at 36. You know what I'm saying? That was 20 years ago. That was a whole nother vibration. That was a whole nother, energetic atmosphere, or atmosphere in general. So is it in alignment with your highest self today? Check those belief systems out, and I want you to check it out, right? So that's ego as well. Here's the third thing that really is can be detrimental to us and cause a lot of that anger, sadness, fear, resentment, guilt, shame that we're eliminating during this 30 days. Here's another thing. Write this down. Judgment. Ego is filled with judgment. Judgment of yourself, judgment of others, judgment of situation, judgment of things, judgment. And what judgment does is it takes you out of the present moment a lot of times, because you're making up stories in your mind about something, because you're building a perception about something and you're making a judgment about it. Judgment also make you create these perceptions that have you judging others, or creating, it's sort of like you create these energetic barriers, right? So because you think something is bad, you're not giving it any chance of balancing out. You know what I mean? And also because you think something is good, you may stifle yourself and not try something different, because you think, oh, well, that was good. This is the parameter of what is good, or even positive, negative. If you looking at something like, man, that was a negative thing that happened in my life, that was a negative, you don't give it a chance to see God in it. And that is the problem. We everything is a divine order. If you truly know that everything is always working out for you and everything is in divine order, then it is impossible for things to be negative, right? It is in the way that people look at it, like that's negative. Everything is in divine order. The worst things that we think, as a matter of fact, think back to a time where you thought that this was the worst thing could ever happen. You thought that this was negative. It ain't nothing that you can tell me is good in this. And now you look back and go, thank God. Lord have mercy if I would have. I know I have several of those days in my lifetime where I'm like, whoo, thank the Lord, that this happened, because if not, then, who knows what I would have been experiencing, right? So that's another thing that come with ego, is this judgment. And I know you may be looking at the things I'm talking about. Okay, yes, your identity, who you are, your belief system, this judgment. Okay, this is natural, Queen Yenn. What are you saying? We just need to throw out our identity. We just need to throw out all of our beliefs and just be like, we just need to throw out our judgment and just look at everything is good. What about the rapist? What about the robber? What about the murderer? Aren't those all bad and all those different things? Well, that's why I wanted to get into the meat of this conversation, and that is the concept of divine love. And I want to talk about divine love because divine love is really the essence of our heart chakra, which is our center, our balance. When our heart chakra, when we're vibrating on a open, balanced frequency, we don't deal with the holding on to those type of emotions that judgment brings about, that identity brings about, that the ego brings about, because we do really realize that the essence of the divine love, that divine love, which is what our heart chakra should be vibrating on, divine love shows us the essence of life and everything. And it also has us vibrating on a certain frequency where our life is quite blissful, where we stop experiencing a lot of the things that we may have been experiencing as cycles in our life when we tune into that divine love. And you know, when I began to study divine love and work on my heart chakra, I really began to really understand a lot of Bob Marley songs, you know, and a lot of Rastafari music that I've heard that talk about love a lot. You know what I mean? In this Western civilization, when you hear about love, mostly you're hearing about it as romantic love, right? And so it's never really spoken about in a divine way. So you may think that when you talk about love, when you're talking about heart chakra, when you're talking about something romantic, and that's one small example of how love manifests. That's the manifestation of love. We're talking about the essence of love, which I believe that a lot of Rastas were tuned into when they talked about how love is the healer of a nation. And it truly is, because when you truly possess divine love or tune into the vibration of divine love, judgment drops, you know. And when judgment drops and when expectations drops, that's when empathy happens. That's when compassion happens. And when that happens, that's when this whole notion of forgiveness or tolerance or acceptance, or, you know, those type of things begin to happen when all of those things drop. And so with saying that, this is why I'm saying, you know, identify all of those things, you know, these things you are, these judgments you have, these expectations you have, because in order to really find divine peace, sustained and sustained balance, you have to begin to peel back those layers and get to that spiritual being. The spiritual being doesn't carry any of those things. Our spiritual being does not carry any of those things. Our highest self, when we get into that Christ consciousness that some people call it, many people know about it. If you don't know, you know, if you check out the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, it talks about this Christ consciousness or this Christ-like consciousness. When you tune into that, it does not carry all of those different things. And I want to be clear right now, because, and I'm speaking even to myself, that when you identify these layers of things that is creating havoc in your life because of, you know, what comes when you have expectations and they're not met, or you have all of these things that you these perceptions, you know, that this is such an expansive world that is gonna change, so it's gonna cause, you know, these feelings of sadness, fear, anger, all of these different things. I'm not saying that if you see that on you, be hard on yourself. That's what I'm not saying. And I'm saying it to myself too, because I tend to be hard on myself. You know, I'm not saying you're a bad person. Remember, I'm not talking about good or bad here. That's not what I'm just talking about. It is what it is. And when we are aware and mindful, that becomes the powerful piece. When we are aware and mindful, it has nothing to do with if you're good or bad. Now, that's a different type of dynamic than what a lot of us grown up in, because we've grown up in religious families where something is good or bad. You go to hell or heaven. You're getting damned or you're not. You're getting damned or you're blessed. You know, all these different type of things. Throw that away. Throw that away. Hell is a state of mind. Heaven is a state of mind. And you can choose to be in either one. And either one is your choice. It's your choice. That's it. That's all it is. It's just your choice. So this is not your past to beat up on yourself. Let's be very clear. All right. So let me start before we jump into divine love, which I already kind of jumped into it. Let's talk about the heart chakra. I want to recap just for a second, just to make sure, because I try to jam pack so much in this hour. I want to make sure I'm keeping a strain of ideas and concepts that is relaying the message. But I wanted to first break down the ego, and I spoke about how the ego is built up with our identity, our belief system, our judgment, you know, and our belief system and identity is what our identity and our belief system, which is, again, the belief system is the book of laws that we pretty much go by subconsciously or consciously, creates these judgments of others and ourselves. And the judgment is what starts that whole train of sadness, anger, fear, guilt, shame, resentment, you know, all of those different things. It's the judgment. It's when we are able to release judgment and know that one, it is what it is. Everything is divinely ordered. That's when we begin to release all of those things that come with it, right? sounds simple, and it could be, with practice, it can become simple. Let's be very clear. I'm not going to be one that says sounds simple, but I know it's hard. Yeah, it may be in this phase. But what we hope for it to be is you come to a level of understanding so much that it's not about it being hard or whatever. It's about, it just is what it is. So you're going with a level of flow. And it's a bit of more of an easygoing nature about the whole idea of judgments, and how do we release them? And it takes work. It takes practice to know how to release judgment so that you can flow with life versus creating these judgments where you're pushing and pulling against life, which creates the pain that we sign on to ourselves, right? So, for the heart chakra develops when you are a child. And the heart chakra definitely impacts how you feel about life, how you feel about people, how you feel about things. If your heart chakra is out of balance, you tend to be controlling. You tend to deal with depression, sadness, fear. You tend to deal with insecurity. And you're definitely like the controlling piece is a big one. You really want to control life so you won't have to deal with these issues, so you want to control everything. You don't want to relinquish control. And so, of course, by default, if you are controlling, then by default, you are saying that you don't know that everything is divinely ordered or that everything is working out for you. You don't know that this source of life is omnipotent, it's all knowing, it's all peace, it's all, that there's infinite opportunities, that you are in a flow of abundance that is endless, that you are infinite being. Like all of that goes down a drain when you become perpetually controlling. Because now you're trying to control it with your human mind, with your ego, with your judgments, with your identity, with your perceptions, with your belief system. You're trying to control life so that it can go in your way. We want to release that. That causes a lot of these things that we're trying to eliminate these 30 days. So I want to know in my chat room, anybody raise your hand, y'all. Don't be scared. Anybody have control issues? Raise your hand if you ever dealt with control issues. And it doesn't have to be, and look, y'all saw me raise mine. I wasn't doing that for an example. I've definitely had issues and still fight issues with controlling things. I was just doing a live the other day where I admitted that, admittedly, as I reflect, man, my little controlling nature is peeking rearing its little head in my meditation practice or in my scripting practice. Am I using scripting to try to control my life? Is this what's happening here? I had to check myself. Like, hold on now. Scripting is not for you to obsess over what you desire. Scripting is to get you in alignment so that anything that you desire ever, today, tomorrow, anything that you desire ever can be able to be attracted to you. That's what scripting and meditation is for. It's to get the vibes right, basically. It's not to sit and obsess over trying to get things or trying to control your life. So I see some hands raised over here in the chat room like, yes, I have dealt with control issues. Checking out that heart, you know what I mean? Like, and we're going to talk through this so you can know how we can remedy this. I see somebody over here in the IG reel say it requires daily work. I agree, and I would say it takes moment by moment work. It takes sometimes moment by moment, day by day, work to just like, let me release this. Let me not judge. Hold up. Why am I feeling this way? What am I believing that's making me feel this way? Especially if you feeling that, like, if you're feeling any emotions that's out of alignment of your peace, as you want to really check it. So regarding the heart chakra, this is where this concept of love sits. This is where this concept of love sits, right there in the heart chakra, right? And I had to look up this idea of love metaphysically because I wanted to move from surface level, from this human, this egoic level, and see the spiritual essence of this idea of love, right? So I wanted to just share this with you. This is love. If you think about it, love, how many of us see it now, introduces judgment. It introduces possessiveness. It's fragile. It's fragile. It's not unconditional. It's fragile. It can be love one day and then love is gone. It's like my mom be like, you don't love, well, if you love them, you know, that's my mom. Love is love. She like, love stay forever. That's love. I mean, you know, that's that old school idea. It's like, love is love. You know, it's like, that's what it is. We're like, hold up. We questioning that old school mentality. Like, hold on now. I don't know, you know. My love may have some conditions. I may not love you if you do this or do that. Now, I'm not saying any of it is right or wrong, and I'm not stating my stance on love in this statement. I'm just saying that love, how we see it, introduces possessiveness. It induces fear. The love, how we see it, induces fear. Think about when you're a child. You know, you love your mama. And love is fear. You fear your mama too. You fear that she wouldn't like you. She wouldn't love you if you do what you want to do, you know, because what you want to do, some of what you want to do is wrong, right? All of these, the judgments, the expectations that have been placed upon you as a child, you know, you can't climb up that patio thing and jump off because mama said you don't supposed to do that. And she gonna be mad, and she may not love you no more because you being bad, you know. And I'm using that as an example because it's like, okay, Queen Yenn, they don't supposed to jump up on there. But I think the way we rear children, we rear them in fear. We rear them in a way that's making them deny themselves in order to try to get love and acceptance. So we just got to be careful of it. We have to be watchful. You know, Baba Wakesa, who's going to be with us next week, Sunday, he talks about how he uses an example, a perfect example of his parenting and how he was ruling with fear, you know, and that fear and the love, when you are ruling with fear on anything and then you're dealing with someone who loves you, they're going to, if ever, have a desire that don't meet your expectations or whatever your ruling thumb is, then they're going to alter who they are or go against who they are to try to make you happy. That's not divine love. That's not divine love. And I'm talking about this because we do a lot like this. We decide what we like, what we love, what we accept, what is our mission, what is all of these. We have we make these decisions that creates these expectations in our lives that introduces or induces fear, that introduces the opportunity for judgment, for possessiveness, for attachment. And so this idea of love that we're addressing right now, because we're working with the heart chakra, it definitely also encourages attachment. It encourages attachment to things and people, you know. And you say you love whatever you say you love, you know. All right, so what if you don't have it? Or what if you lose it? Then what? You know, that's what you have to kind of question, like, then what? Because life does move forward. Spirit does not attach to anything. You know, it's omnipotent. It's infinite. And so we want to be as flexible and expansive as possible to flow with the natural vibration of the universe. But when we introduce this idea that we have right now of love, it kind of stifles that flexibility. All right. Any questions on this side? Make sure you all let me know. I am able to see the chat on both, and I can answer those questions if you need to. All right. Kimber says, I've identified my control issues are a major source of frustration. Yes, Kim, and I challenge you to look at the idea of you being frustrated and ask yourself, is that frustration fear? Is that frustration sadness? Is that frustration anger? Because we want to dig into frustration, because frustration could be a hodgepodge of things, but in order to get to the root of your frustration, you have to see what it is. If it's a fear, deal with it. Ask yourself, what's the danger? And is this danger, is it going to kill you? Is it severe enough for you not to move forward in life, for you to always get stifled by certain things? Or can you move past that? Can you change your mind about it? Can you retell the story about it? You know, work with it. All right, so divine love. So we talked about this concept of love that we have right now that introduces judgment, possessiveness. It's fragile. It induces fear, you know, encouraged attachment, which all of these different things really causes the things that we're wanting to release these 30 days, that resentment, that guilt, that shame. Into divine love. Listen to this. Metaphysically, divine love is the pure essence of being that binds together everyone and everything. The essence of being that binds together everyone and everything is what divine love is. It is not personal. It is an essence. It is an energy. It is something that is unstoppable, something that is not interruptible. It cannot be stopped. It's an essence of being, meaning that anything that is living, anything that is of this source of life, this omnipotent source of life, is divine love. That's what it is, right? And so everything that's manifested out of it is that love as well. So let's run that back. Divine love is the pure essence of being. Pure. Listen to that keyword, pure. It's the pure essence of being, without judgment, without labels, it's just that essence of being. It is the tree before the tree became a tree, and before it was named a maple, it is just that essence of being that even created the physical manifestation of this tree. That's something that you cannot really put words about on. You can't really, you can try to put an image to it, and many have. That's where you get beautiful pictures and art. Art is trying to, and jazz music and all of this stuff is expressing this essence that we're talking about, which is divine love. It's just something that is. It's that thing that encourages us when things are looking bad. It's that thing that if you really tune into it, if you really know what it is and trust what it is and believe and know what it is, it's that thing that when things are like topsy-turvy, you can sit with yourself and something just tells you. It is that like, it can't even be understood. It's that knowing that can't even be understood. It's that knowing that can't even be understood. And not even try. When you experience it, you don't even try to understand it. You don't, because when you try to understand it, that's when you begin to pass judgment. That's when you begin to dig through those belief systems and all of those different things. No. That is love. So love is this idea of faith, or which I don't use the word faith, I use knowing. That is love. Right? That's divine love. Divine love is that space where you are when that peace that you feel when you know that you are of a divine source that is omnipotent, that is limitless, that is the creator of the worlds, that is the creator of everything. When you experience that peace, that is divine love. Because that kind of love helps you to drop judgment. It helps you to drop all these beliefs. It helps you to drop all of this identity, all that ego, and say, no matter what I see and what I hear and what I believe and all these different things, I know without a shadow of a doubt that everything is always working out for me and everything is a divine order. And all is God, is good. All is of the same source. The infinite source. We're not talking about romantic love. We're not talking about the kind of love that creates ideas and attachments. And why am I talking about this divine love and emphasizing it so much? I'm talking about it because in order for us to heal our heart, which that is the space where that guilt, that anger, that sadness, that fear, that trauma, the memories, that's where it sits in the heart. I cannot tell you how, yes ma'am, agape love. I cannot tell you how many people I experience on a regular, not just when I'm doing my work, not just when I'm clearing, not just walking out into spaces where you know their heart chakra is not balanced. They're suffering with some kind of pain, some sadness, some fear. You know it. You can tell it. You can feel it. You don't even have to be an empath. You can just be in their presence and you can feel the vibration. When you experience divine love, it gives you the opportunity for you to be able to release those things. Divine love. All right, let me come over here and check out the comments. I want to acknowledge you all's comments. Give thanks for my Instagram family for being engaged and attentive. Tell about you letting go of fear with your son going to the grocery store. Yeah, right? A lot of parents don't see children as competent. I'm over here smiling. This is a blessing. I'm glad we all aligned today. Yes. Giving thanks for the alignment. So thank you for challenging me to talk about letting go of my fear of letting my son go to the grocery store. I mean, you have these judgments, these ideas, you know, these different things that make you just hold fear. And I've long ago just challenged myself anytime I'm making a decision against the will of my son. That's what really made me question myself, because my son's will is strong and he would want to do different things. And I was questioning myself on why am I saying no? And I had to check my ego, like, why am I saying no? Because my mama said no, because I'm scared, because the news said it's dangerous for children to go in the store by themselves, because he black, because he what is the fear? He's a black boy, I don't want him in there, and they think he's stealing their what am I pressing upon him that he ain't even tuned into? His vibration ain't even on that frequency. What am I projecting on him? And I released that, you know, and I'm like, let me give him everything he needs and trust, and give him the opportunity to be responsible so that he can grow those different things. I think that's a great example. We have to trust that they are covered. I am a spiritual being having a human experience. I'm a mother, sister, daughter, auntie, teacher, healer, inspiration. I'm the mama of my siblings and the fixer in my family. Thank you for sharing. And I hope you don't mind, Brittany. I'm going to take your example, and we're going to do a little activity that's going to be a part of your homework anyway. So that's perfect. I'm going to take your identity, which this sister Brittany over in our in our Facebook group has shared her identity. Thank you. And we're going to do some work with it today. We're just going to talk through it and try to identify how some of that identity that you have taken on has impacted your life. And we're not going to say negatively or positively, because remember, everything is a divine order. That's what we're moving to. So we can stop being so much on, you know, this negative, positive. Okay, Brittany said she don't mind. Excellent, Brittany. Great student. You're going to get if I had a sticker, I'd give it to you, Britt. You see how I gave you a nickname and everything. See how teachers do? They ain't right. Like, you done gave her a nickname. All right. So let's go into it, y'all. Let's see how we can apply this idea of divine love, which is total. Really, divine love is total. It's not even acceptance. It's like this understanding that all is divine. Because remember, divine love is the pure essence of being. It's not, you know, what we've made it to be. Well, love is, you know, people done wrote books on it, all this. Divine love is the pure essence of being that binds together everyone and everything, period. So when you go back to that divine love, it starts to develop that agape love that Sister Into is saying here in the group. That unconditional love. And, you know, we don't, right now I'm not going into, well, what about this and what about that? We're just talking about what is. And we can address the what about, but we're just talking about what is. So now, here's a part of your homework. One of the things I wanted you to write down for your homework. And then we're going to go into Brittany's identity, because it's a part of your homework. Homework time. Write it down. Identify the identity and agreements you've agreed on regarding your being. Identify the identity and agreements you've taken on regarding to your being. Are there any that are not in alignment with your highest self right now, today? Your highest self today. We're not thinking about what was and what I was taught and who, no. Are there any agreements or forms of identity that you have taken on that is not in alignment with your highest self today? Also, well, I'm going to hold that one. I'm going to hold that one. That's one part of your homework, all right? So remember, this identity and the agreements and the belief systems, all these different things, this is what I'm wanting you to identify. And I want you to really dig deep. And this is beautiful time for us to be doing this, y'all. It's a retrograde. Beautiful time for us to be doing this. I want you to go into it and see what expectations were created, what expectations have been created, what ideas have been created, what beliefs have been created because of this identity. And is it in alignment with your highest self? And remember, your highest self is a peaceful, balanced, open-hearted, joyous person. For the most part, you know what I mean? Like, we have our duality and our polarity in life. But even through the struggle, all those different things, is your heart open enough for you to be able to get through the struggle without holding on to resentment and the guilt and the shame? Is it? Or is it some things about your beliefs, your identity, these agreements that you've made about yourself that has you to hold on differently? Now, let's go with this example. Brittany says, I am a spiritual being having a human experience. That, number one, comes with a set of beliefs. Right, Brittany? There's certain things Brittany believes because she is a spiritual being having a human experience. You would think, right? So there's certain beliefs. And I can talk about what I believe because of that as a belief that I have. Or what expectations I have about life because of that belief. All right? She says, I'm a mother. That comes with expectations. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter, auntie, teacher, healer, inspiration. All of that comes with expectations. I'm the mama of my siblings and the fixer in my family and want to help everybody, but realize I can't. All right? So I am a fixer. Brittany is the fixer. Now, what I would challenge you, Brittany, is what expectations have you created for yourself as the mama of your siblings? Because one of the things that I've noticed working with a lot of people, you know, as clients, is as daughters, as mamas of different things, you take on things you don't want to do. I never forget, I had a client that she was going through a lot of things, and I'm wondering, why is she deciding to why is she making all of these different things a part of her life that she did not want to do, and it was associated with money. And come to find out, she just took on the responsibility that she was supposed to financially and physically support her parents. Now, you may say, well, Queen Yenn, yeah, naturally that's what it is. Yes. And I'm saying yes, that naturally comes up. Like, as a daughter myself, I say, okay, I want to be able to take care of my mama, you know, but the issue came about because she was trying to control the situation and do it herself. Versus, here's how you can approach it. Versus putting it in your prayers and meditations. Oh, here she goes, just pray about it. No. Hear me out. Put it in your prayers and meditations, right? In your new moon, in your whatever. May I be able to take care of may there be no barriers in me be able to take care of my mother and father. May they be sustained. Keeping it general, keeping it as an essence, as a vibration, instead of saying, may I make enough money to buy my parents a house, to do this. You have this vision, you have this idea of how it's supposed to look, and then you create these wants and desires that are not really in alignment with your highest self, and then that causes stress and pain and sadness and resentment and all these different things. So now it's turning from you wanting to help somebody out to now you resenting your mama. Now you resenting being a daughter. Now you resenting friends. Now you resenting people. Because you, it's not their fault. It's because you, with your desire, have not taken on and tried to control it You've wrapped your beliefs around it. You've wrapped your identity around it. You've wrapped all of your expectations around it. And now you're trying to control it. Versus really identifying that as a heart's desire and giving it to the Most High to work out. And then the work begins with you staying balanced. You staying open, you keeping your ears and eyes, your spiritual ears and eyes and mind and intuition clear, so that then inspired actions come. And with those inspired actions, that is where you can begin to actually be able to take care of your parents or sister or brother or mate or son or daughter or friend without feeling the sadness, the anger, the fear, the anxiety, the resentment. Because now it's a joyous thing. Now you begin to enjoy the beautiful unfolding of you being able to take care of your parents. Someone gifts you a home to put your parents in. Someone, a nursing service pops up in a contest and you get 10 years of nursing service for free for your mama who just started to onset of dementia. You know, like you begin to become in alignment with these things. You can't do that when you've first identified a desire and now you have created the idea of how it's going to happen. And now you're making that idea happen. Now you caught up. Okay. So I went into that because Brittany gave us an example of how she's a fixer. You know, she's a fixer. And oftentimes fixers go down that road I just described. How can we not go down that road? Well, what we can do is we can tune into divine love. What love got to do with it, Yennenga? Give me a chance. Tune into divine love, the pure essence of being that binds together everyone and everything, including your desires. Including it binds it together. It creates an equilibrium. It's a balance. So all of your desires can be in balance with your life in general. You don't have to feel like your desires don't become burdens. It's in balance. You trust that everything is in order. Everything is in divine order. Everything is everything. You have this divine love attitude of gratitude based in divine love, right? That makes you not stressed, makes you not worry, makes you know that everything is working out. It eases all of those nervousness, anxiety, fear, all of those different things that create energetic dams. It eases that, frees up your energy. Now you're attracting it. Now every time somebody look around, you got blessings flowing. They like, I mean, dang, sis is just blessed. I mean, it's just working out. Seem like my ears to God, my mouth is to God's ear. That can happen when you tune into that divine love. That's balancing the chakras. That is healing the heart. Tuning into the divine love. I will not be the one to keep tuning you into trauma that has happened to you in your life. Go back and dig it up. Go back and figure it out. Why did you attract it? Why did it happen? Who did what and why and where and who and that? Listen. Just tune into divine love. The pure essence of being that binds together everything, everyone and everything. And if you truly know that you are of a divine source, a beautiful source, a limitless source, an infinite source, and if you don't know that, then tune into the oceans and the sky and astrology and anything. Tune into the science of anything, and you will know it. All right. Pause for the cause. My IG family, this is about to go off. I'm so sorry. I wanted to share this with y'all, though, so I hope y'all enjoyed. I'm going to be dropping homework in the Facebook group, so join the Facebook group if you are on Facebook, and also this replay will be on YouTube, so if you want to catch the homework, go over to the YouTube channel in about an hour and you will be able to replay. Peace. All right, so that tells me, look, I like that because that's actually a timer for me, because now that means my time is closing with you all. So let me jump into you all's homework. But I hope you all are getting the drift, getting what I'm. But it's supposed to be on it's Facebook Live. She'd be like, I hope you're getting what I'm putting down, picking up what I'm putting down. That's what she be saying. I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down. She be doing some dope videos on how to do Facebook marketing. Anyway, so the idea of divine love, that is the healer, y'all. Love is the healer. Love is the healer. Dang, what done happened to Yennenga? She on this love kick. Oh, Lord. So now all you're saying is, I gotta love, Lord. She done went from saying meditation and visualization. Now it's just love at this point. What I'm saying is, when you really understand divine love, you heal your heart. You drop all of these things that we're holding on to, that we're, as a part of this challenge, we are releasing. And then when that happens, everything opens up. Your relationships begin to heal. Your coins, your bags begin to grow. You know what I'm saying? Finances begin to get in order. You start to see less physical illness and pains. That pain in your knee go away. That pain in your back go away. You know, you get more energy. You get more inspiration. Your solar plexus be popping. Woo! Come on, Ann, don't do that to me. You just gonna bite me on my shoulder, on my star. It just done went right up here. Your solar plexus start to be popping. That's what happened when you tune into that divine love. So, I mean, if anything, I would release any type of belief or idea I have about love and try to tune into this idea of divine love. What do you have to lose? You don't have nothing to lose. Anything, you got something to gain. Tune into what it truly means for divine love to be the pure essence of being that binds together everyone and everything. And if you truly tune into that, how can that really impact your life? Just look at how that can impact your life. I'm going to go on to read some other notes I had on divine love, and then we're going to close out with homework. Divine love is impersonal. It's the energy of uninterrupted, unstoppable, inevitable connection. Inevitable connection. Everything is connected. This is why we can be talking about one thing and we'll see a blue jay, and you look up blue jay totem and it's confirming what you're talking about. Connected. This is why you can stand at the edge of the ocean and get lessons for life that can open up your world, heal your heart. Just by looking at the ocean, just by going and sticking your feet in there, you can be cleansed. That's why you can take a smudge bundle, sage, a plant from the ground, burn it, put it in your room, and it can heal and balance the energy in your space. This is that connection. This is that divine love. And when you begin to consistently acknowledge that in everything, you begin to be more watchful and conscious of your words. You begin to be more present. You begin to live in a moment. You begin to be more compassionate. You begin to be more empathetic. All of those things come. And that's what has to come in order for us to reconcile with what we've been talking about doing, reconcile with our feelings, take it for what it is, whatever it's telling us, allow it to do its job, which is basically put us back in tune. It's our inner navigation system, putting us back in tune into what is balance for us, what is peace, what do we actually desire, what is, in alignment with our higher self. That's what all that is for. And let us move forward. All right. It is divine love is the what, the who, the why doesn't matter when we're talking about divine love. It doesn't matter. Love is an inner quality. Let me explain what inner quality is. An inner quality is a spiritual nature established through communication with your intuition or your inner guidance system. So divine love is an inner quality, that a spiritual nature. Y'all ever heard nature versus nurture? Divine love is a spiritual nature established by or through communication with your inner guidance system. So you want to know how meditation is powerful and needed and necessary and all that good stuff? so we can move away from the physical experience, and so we can get in tune with our spiritual natures. And divine love is one of those spiritual natures. When you begin to move outside of divine love, moving in judgment, moving into these agreements that you've made because of your human experience, your human selves, and you're moving out of divine love, which is that knowing that everything is connected, everything is what it is, everything is a divine order. Now you begin to hit that fear. You begin to hit that guilt, that shame, all of those. You see how divine love just washes all of that away? It washes all of that away. When divine love is established or realized, because I believe it's, the word was used established. I think it's just remembered, realized, because as you get into the meditation and doing those different things, you begin to remember things. You begin to realize things. As it is realized, judgment and attachments are dissolved, welcoming peace beyond understanding. It's dissolved. And I didn't go all the way into this, the idea of attachment, but just know that detachment does not mean that you have to not be around something or someone. It does not mean it goes away. It does not mean it have to go away. What it means is you're able to detach from that human way of dealing with it and attach to it in a divine way. You're attaching now to things in a divine way. You begin to not be scared of bugs because your ego has gone away and moved away that fear. And now you're open enough to get the experience that the bugs are there for, that the birds are there for, that the nature, that whatever you fear is there for. You begin to see what's the benefit in it. All right. So here's the homework, and then I'm going to close because I want to enjoy the rest of the day in nature. The first homework assignment was to identify this identity that we hold on to ourselves. Brittany, thank you so much for sharing your identity. And I stopped at the fixer. She says it's up to them to do what they need to change their lives, and I'll drive myself ragged trying. And releasing judgment of them helps me grow too. I now set boundaries and listen to myself. I've reduced my stress level by 95%. Congratulations, Britt. Congratulations. So here's for you too, Brittany. All right. So Brittany has somewhat did the first assignment, which was identify the identity and agreements you've taken on regarding your being. Are there any that are not in alignment with your highest self right now? So you can release those during this Mercury retrograde. Then the next homework assignment is to create a book of laws or agreements, because what I want to emphasize is that ego either can be, you can entertain it in a balanced way, or it can be a detriment to you, right? And so what I'm not saying that let me not say what I'm not saying. What I am saying is, being that we are spiritual beings having a human experience, let's just be reflective, okay? Let's be reflective at all times. We know we're going to have beliefs. We know we're going to have these different things, all of these ideas about things. Let's just be more reflective and make sure that we stay in alignment. So the next homework assignment I have is create a book of laws or agreements that will keep you in alignment with your present day highest self. Okay. One of my agreements and beliefs with myself is that everything is always working out for me. I affirm it all the time. Everything is always working out for me, period. That's everything is in divine order. When things happen, I immediately, especially, I should say, I won't say especially, but I definitely always affirm that everything is divine order. Everything is divine order, Yennenga. Everything is a divine order. Everything is divine order. If I'm late, everything is divine order. If anything, if my son got, getting in trouble, everything's a divine order. Everything's a divine order. Let me get my balance. Why am I angry? Am I angry? Is it fear? What is it? Blah, 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 blah. I'm going through the reflection in my mind. Everything's a divine order, though. That's one of my laws. That's one that I'm living by. So come up with your agreements. Challenge your present identify and challenge, right? And then for this Mercury retrograde and for this homework assignment for this week, create your own laws that's going to put you in alignment with your highest self. And your highest self is that being in peace, joy, abundance, and you have to challenge some things. Some people believe that because they Black, they are limited in this society. And they believe that, and it subconsciously or consciously impacts them. Some people believe that they're not worthy of certain things because of their childhood. Some people believe that they have to have a 6-figure job in order to be successful or happy. Some people believe that they got to be in a relationship in order to be happy. And that's the law that they're living by. So they are perpetually in relationships, even if they need to really establish a relationship with themselves first. But they stay perpetually in relationships. I'm a relationship person. That's something they believe. So, and it's nothing wrong. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying challenge it to see, is it in alignment with your highest self today? And if it's not, change your mind about it. Simple. We're not going into, a whole bunch of strategies. Change your mind. Create some new beliefs. Beliefs are only thoughts you keep thinking. Period. Okay? And then lastly, the last homework I want you to do is a heart chakra meditation. And I'm going to ask you all to email me at info@queenyenn.com for that heart chakra meditation, and I'll send it over to you. And I want you to put in the subject, I'm healing my heart. Okay? I'm healing my heart. That's what I want you to put in the subject line, and I'll send you that heart chakra meditation. All right? I hope this has given you some words that you can reflect upon. I hope that it has been resonant. I hope that it has brought you some level of reflection or joy or peace. I pray that this chat has been beneficial to you, and I pray that this journey is continuously beneficial to you. Please do share this video, share the journey with other people, talk about it, tell about it. I think it's something powerful. Stay tuned. I am offering a special, some of you all have seen the email because some kind of way I have your email address, but for those who I don't have your email address, make sure I get it, because I am sending out a special offer to those who are a part of this 30-day challenge for the course that I will be launching in August. I'm so excited because I finally am launching my first course in August. And one day I will tell the miraculous thing that happened that's making it where I can launch this course, which is something I've been wanting to do for months. I will venture to say years, but for whatever reason, it just hadn't been able to happen. And something miraculous happened, and I'm able to do it. So I'm just super excited about it. I've shared this testimonial with only a couple of people, but I will share it soon because it's something that's beautiful. But it is a special offer for this challenge participants only. I'm offering this offer to you all. So definitely, if you didn't last week, make sure you email to say I've taken the challenge or I took the challenge. That was for the offer. And then for this week's homework, I'm healing my heart. Now, if you want the offer and the meditation, just put it in both. I took the challenge and I'm healing my heart, and I'll send you the information for both. I'll send you that meditation, and I'll send you the information in order for you to take advantage of the special offer that I'm only offering to challenge participants. Thank y'all so much for tuning in with me. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and you have a beautiful, prosperous, powerful week. All right. Much peace, many blessings to all of you.